Racing on Saturday takes place out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. We do have a doubleheader racing with Turfentine as well, but 10 races on the program from Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and race number 1 gets underway at 12:05. Joining me on the line is Graham Hawkins. And Graham, how are you doing?
All good, thank you, Rahil. Looking forward to this meeting. It's the last weekend meeting of the Durbanville spring season. Of course, there's one more meeting to come on Tuesday, but from next weekend onwards, all the racing action from the Western Cape transfers to Kenilworth.
Well, the first race is a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,250 meters. Catch a Penny, your favorite here, 13-10. 22-10 about Pink Pigeon. 8-1 Sheets and Goggles. It's then 10-1 and Better Bar Those. Now, this filly Catch a Penny, she ran second on debut, but I don't think it was the strongest of races. I think that horse, if I'm not mistaken, Ship and Donny came through to frank that form. But the filly to beat you?
No doubt about that, Rahil. Obviously, the winner that day was All the Boys I've Loved, who runs later on in this card. But if you watch the replay of Catch a Penny's debut, you will appreciate how unlucky she was to lose. Cole Dickon lost his stirrup iron inside the final 300 meters. Recovered it nicely, but Catch a Penny took a little while to find her stride. After that, came flying up to run second. Drawn well here, and with natural improvement, should just about win this. She was fancied on debut. She was backed in from 14-1 to 8-1, and I know they were devastated that she got beat. So from the draw, I would think that number 2, Catch a Penny, could be too good for number 11, Pink Pigeon, but she's run second in both her starts to date and obviously has very strong credentials here. The only other one really worth a mention is number 4, Sheets and Goggles, but she hasn't raced since April, and the stable believe she could need the run. There are obviously a number of well-bred newcomers that we know nothing about, but I do think that Catch a Penny can get us off to a winning start. Obvious respect for number 11, Pink Pigeon.
Yeah. Graham, in the camp of the two horses that bring the best form into the race, and those two finished second at their last start. Catch a Penny from Pink Pigeon, race 1. Race number 2, maiden plate, 1,250 meters, 12:35 the off time, and it is a start of the bipot. Favorite here, number 1, Rafa Bay at 22-10. Master Bomber is at 4-1. 5-1 about Grand Allegro, 6-1 and Better Bar Those. It's a field of 13 runners that are set to line up, and Rafa Bay here and second last time out, finding 1-2 good on the day. Now steps up in trip, which is likely to suit him. But Graham, the source, Grand Allegro here and second to Arctic Wizard, and we saw Arctic Wizard hold his form quite nicely straight out the maidens when running a solid third in what looked to be a very competitive race.
I think Grand Allegro definitely won for the shortlist. I think this is quite a tricky race, Rahil. Rafa Bay obviously has the form and has the draw, and as you say, will appreciate stepping up slightly in trip. But Grand Allegro is one that we've got to keep following. He's improved with each and every outing. Could be a nice day for Shane Humby. He's got another nice runner later on that we'll discuss. Master Bomber, number 11, has got a wide draw to overcome, but did catch the eye on debut when flying home to finish 4th, just a length or so behind Sir Korski. And then Ricky Maingard, he's been having his winners. He saddles number 2, Diablo, from a nice draw finish just behind number 11, Master Bomber, last time out. With improvement to come, you would expect number 11, Master Bomber, to confirm that form. But certainly Diablo is more favourably drawn. I've taken no chances in the opening leg of the bipod. I've included all 4 of these runners. 1 Rafa Bay, 2 Diablo, 8 Grand Allegro, and 11 Master Bomber. That should get us safely through and hopefully double up. Rafa Bay from the draw, probably the one to beat. But I don't think it's that simple. I do think that Grand Allegro will give us a very good run for our money.
Yeah, 4 horses in with strong winning chances in race number 2, and perhaps Grand Allegro 5-1 could be some nice value there. Moving along to race number 3, 1,250 meters, open maiden. This is the start of the place accumulator. 1 is the off time, and number 2, Water Fortune, is the favorite at 16-10. Palace Gift at 28-10. It's Grand Canaria at 7-2. King Viserys 9-2, and then you can get 12-1. And Better Bar Those. Now, Water Fortune showed good improvement last time out when finishing second, and that was his best run to date. 16-10, a bit on the skinny sides about the source Water Fortune, Graham.
I agree with you, Rahil. I think there was a particularly weak race. Yes, he did show nice improvement and finishing under a half a length behind I'm the Buzz. But that form has to be suspect, but he can continue to improve. May be a worthy favourite, but I do believe, like you do, that 16-10 is a little on the skinny side. I much preferred the chances of number 3, Palace Gift. I spoke about Shane Humby in the previous race. He settles number 8, Grand Allegro there. I really think that number 3, Palace Gift, brings the best form into the race. If you go back 2 runs, third bound, Empire State, Let It Be Said, and Legal Counsel have come out of that form line to win. And then obviously last time out, Water Dragon came from that run to win. So those form lines are holding up very nicely. So a clear first choice, and I think some value at 28-10 and 3-1 about number 3, Palace Gift. I think you can take your chances here. But obviously the key race, the key unknown, is the Snaith first timer, number 7, Grand Canaria. There seems to be a bit of a nibble for him in the anti-post market, but we've seen that happen before, and then they blow out on course. The pre-race comments from the stable are not that bullish, so I would watch and see how we go with number 7, Grand Canaria, because I'm expecting perhaps this one will drift on course. But on the other hand, if it shortens, then you've got to heighten your respect for number 7, Grand Canaria. I think that number 8, King Viserys, is safely held. So number 3, Palace Gift, my clear first choice.
Graham, I want to get your thoughts on one horse here, because sometimes these type of races can throw up a bit of a result. This horse, number 6, Circumbendibus. Now, last 2 starts over the mile, he hasn't particularly run his best races, but in saying that, 2 starts back, 5 lengths to Dalmeny Factor, 3 starts back, 4.5 lengths to Way of Touchdown. I think those could be 2 efforts that could see this horse running into trifectas and quartets at 20-1.
Yes, he's certainly one to consider for the back end of trifectas and quartets. I know the connections have been terribly disappointed with number 6, Circumbendibus. They've been expecting a lot more. He shows a lot more at home. And as you say, the step back to 1,250 metres, he's having his third run as a gelding, could see the improvement that they're all hoping for. Hard to suggest him as a likely winner here, but certainly from a trifecta and a quartet perspective, you've got to consider number 6, Circumbendibus. He could suddenly show the kind of improvement that they've been expecting.
Yeah, 20-1 the price about horse number 6. Perhaps throw him into those exactas, trifectas and quartets. But Palace Gift could be the one to be with. Moving along to race number 4, 1,250 metres the distance, 13:45 the off time, the start of the pick 6. And here, number 6, Bjorn Ironside is the favourite at 12-10. Night Bomber at 4-1. Black Eager at 4-1. 5-1 War Chariot. Dumbledore at 6-1. And then you've got 2 horses at double figures. That's number 7 and 2. This horse, Bjorn Ironside, returns off a rest. Last seen in the Umkmazi when third behind Cat's Pajamas. That was a grade 2 on Gold Cup day, and does return off a rest. Graham, the one to beat or Night Bomber can make it 3 wins from 4 outings?
Look, Bjorn Ironside is the class package in this race. I'm not quite sure what to expect. He doesn't appear to be a straightforward horse. He will continue to improve, obviously, as he matures. He comes with quite a big reputation. It has to be of some concern that he comes to Hollywoodbets Durbanville for the first time, going around the tight turn. The track is running very fast. The question in one's mind is he going to get lost in the early stages of the race, because he's shown himself to be still quite a green horse. I think he's clearly the class package in the race, but I certainly wouldn't be putting all my eggs into the Bjorn Ironside basket. I do think that you've got to consider the likes of Night Bomber, War Chariot and Black Egret. I know there are only 7 runners, and I've already mentioned more than half the field. But if you're playing to beat Bjorn Ironside, and I'm doing just that, because although I think he's clearly the best horse in the race and the one with the brightest future, he might well be vulnerable on his Hollywoodbets Durbanville debut. As we know, the track is running very, very fast. So those with more experience, Night Bomber, War Chariots and Black Egret, have got to be respected.
Yeah, let's see how this horse Bjorn Ironside goes in race number 4, but there's certainly backup in the form of numbers 1, 3 and 4. Moving along to race number 5 next, and the 5th race will be the start of Jackpot 1. It's an open maiden over 1,600 metres, and number 9, Zeitz, is the favourite at 5-10. Number 12 at, we'll call that 8-1, and then it is 10-1 and better bar those. Now, Graham, it's not a strong race at all, and this was Zeit sticks out like a sore thumb throughout the card. Second at his first two starts here, and second to Boundless Energy, who looks to be quite a progressive sort from the Candace Bass Robinson yard. And then last time out, I'm not sure how he got beat over 12.50. Past on the line, past the posts, everywhere I thought he was a winner, but Sir Korski got the verdict there from the judge. 1,600 meters, no doubt, will suit him, and he could be the best bet of the weekend.
Looks that way, Rahil. He's quite obviously the key horse for this meeting because, as you say, he stands out as the nap bet, banker in all exotic perms. We can keep this quite short and sweet. I'll be shocked and horrified if number 9 Zeitz doesn't get the job done. 1250 up to 1,600 meters should be what he's looking for. He's still a little bit green in the early stages. He's not the quickest out of the gates. I do worry that he gets too far back in the early running, but the extra 350 meters will be right up his alley, and he looks to carry too many punches for this field. So number 9 Zeitz, short and simple, entitled to be at 6 to 10, and the clear banker bet of the day.
Yeah, race 5, number 9, Zeitz. Race number 6, next 2,000 meters the distance. Cape Sea Stakes, 14.55 is the off time, and number 9, Groove Jet is your 3-1 favorite, along with Join the Dots. Golden Grey, 7-1 into 5-1. Commander Green, 7-1. To the Moon and Back at 8-1. And then you can get 12-1 and better bar those. Now, it looks to be quite a competitive race where lots of horses do have winning claims. Graham, I like the look of this horse, To the Moon and Back, with Inish Tucker in the irons. Last run, good run to flight display. I think 2,000 meters will suit him quite nicely, given his running style. And I think there could be value at 8-1.
I must be honest, you and I will be on different camps, in different camps in this race. I'm not really included number 4, To the Moon and Back, in the play. I think there was a particularly weak field that the 5-year-old son of Twice Over met last time. But obviously I could be wrong because Des McLaughlin has been going along quite nicely. To the Moon and Back has got a nice draw 4, but doesn't form part of my play, but I wouldn't be completely shocked if he were to come through. I do think that number 9 Groove Jet is the horse to beat. He's got a 3-kilogram swing with number 10 Join the Dots, which should be enough to turn that form around. And they look to be solid performers, and in this division, I think they'll be effective. I know that number 3, Fire Flare, on the 28th of September run is well held. He finished behind Join the Dots and Groove Jet. But I do think there might be a little more to come from number 3, Fire Flare. So whereas amongst the longer priced runners, you're in the camp of number 4, To the Moon and Back, and I respect that, I still have a measure of respect for number 3, Fire Flare, at around 16-1. I think offers quite nice each way value. And the Dean Canamair stable is slowly starting to come back into winning form. There's been money around, as you say, for number 7, Golden Grey, but there always is. Still a maiden after 13 starts. Goes up a division here, was in the same race as To the Moon and Back when finishing 4th behind Flight Display. So I question that form line, and I'm sitting on the fence with To the Moon and Back. But I always respect the fact that Golden Grey seems to have finished off his races quite nicely. Commander Green, obviously open to further improvement, but 9, 10, and 3 in that order would be my top 3 choices. That's Groove Jet, Join the Dots, and Fire Flare.
3 horses in race number 6 for Graham of the 2,000 meter trip. Moving along to race number 7, which will be the start of Jackpot 2. This is over 1,400 meters. 3:30 is the off time. And your favorite here is number 8, Unsolved Riddle, at 22-10. Spirits Unite at 28-10. 3-1, Augusta Blue. It's then 5-1 and better bar those. I see there's been support for the top 6 in the bet-in, and perhaps it's been adjustments more than anything. But race 7, what's your thoughts, Graham?
Well, I think Unsolved Riddle is at the top of the boards because of the Richard Ferree factor, because both numbers 2, Augusta Blue, and 4, Spirits Unite have got him held at the weights. Not by a great margin, but have got him held at the weights. I do think that number 4, Spirits Unite, is going to bounce back. He drops in class from his last 2 runs. Those were both class 4 races. He comes back into class 5. The last time he was in class 5, over this track and trip, he was beaten a short head by Augusta Blue. He's marginally better off the weights. So number 4, Spirits Unite, should have the beating of number 2, Augusta Blue. But they are my clear top 2 choices, with number 8, Unsolved Riddle, my third choice. So Spirits Unite, we saw Pit Stain have a nice winner last week, and he could follow up this weekend with number 4, Spirits Unite. Watch for a much better run from him. Not been disgraced in Class 4 company in his last 2 starts, and I expect him to go much, much better here. He's also got a much kinder draw. He was drawn in the bush in all of his last couple of starts. So Spirits Unite, my top choice, ahead of number 2, Augusta Blue, and only then the anti-post favourite, number 8, Unsolved Riddle. But of course, you can never completely ignore the chances of Richard Faree's mounts.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Number 4, Spirits Unite, the one in race number 7. 28 to 10. He's a horse that he's been a bit costly to follow. He's a horse that has been 492 days without a win, but perhaps Saturday could be the day that he puts his best foot forward and he becomes a 2-time winner. Moving along to race 8, Cape A Stakes over 1,400 meters. And this is at 4:05. Scratch numbers 2 and 10. That's Royal Aussie and Shlui. Raskova favourite at 16 to 10. Sergey 2 to 1. Outlaw King 9 to 2. It's then 15 to 2 and better bar those. Raskova win over Track and Trip. She ran behind Red Palace last time out, and we saw Red Palace frank the form last weekend when beaten double Grand Slam over a distance that, I'm not sure how Red Palace got the job done, but she won quite emphatically that day. And this filly, Graham, we know that she's super talented. Dennis Schwarz takes a ride aboard her, and his first time aboard Raskova.
Look, she's a top-class filly. She put up a tremendous gallop at Hollywoodbets Durbanville last week at the public gallops. It was the gallop of the morning. That's the feedback that we got. There's no doubt that she's in a good space. She's doing well at home. As you say, she won the Grade 2 Western Cape Fillies Championship over this course and distance when beating double Grand Slam by 3.5 lengths last November. So she goes well over Track and Trip. She's drawn in Gate 1. We know she's in a good space. She and Sergey, who's of course coming back from his Mercury Sprint win, are clearly the best weighted in the race, the class packages. So it's an interesting clash between Raskova and Sergey. I spoke to Brett Crawford yesterday coming into this pre-recorded show. He's not at his peak, Sergey, but nonetheless expecting a very big run for him. I did question as to whether the 1,400 meters might be a touch too far. He believes, like perhaps many others do, that now as a 6-year-old, Sergey could start looking for more ground. I think he's keeping his options open as to where he goes from here with number 7, Sergey. So you can't leave Sergey out of the play. Raskova is my top choice ahead of number 7, Sergey. The best weighted column tells a story with the scratching of Royal Aussie. They're well clear of the rest. But you know what? Current fitness and speed at Hollywoodbets Durbanville can be a factor. So I'm not completely ignoring number 3, San Pedro, with just 52.5 on his back. He's not well handicapped, despite the fact that he's carrying a low weight. But we know he loves to go out there and race. He'll set the pace. I expect Raskova to be in the box seat. But San Pedro is a tough customer. And in receipt of a lot of weight on the day with the benefit of a recent race, he could prove hard to pet back. So while on paper it looks a 2-horse race between Raskova and Sergey, and you could certainly play it that way, I'm certainly going to back them up in the jackpot in the pick 6 with number 3, San Pedro. The track is running fast just in case he gets away from them and stays on at the finish.
Graham, I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you had to give Raskova a mark out of 10, what would you give her?
I would give her a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 for number 1, Raskova, here in race number 8 at 16 to 10 in the market. Let's see how this filly shapes up returning off that layoff. But Graham has got respect for number 3, San Pedro, at 17 to 2 in the market, and he's a game front runner. And let's see how he goes along with number 7, Sergey. Race number 9, penultimate race on the day, 1640, 1250 meters, class 4 for fillies and mares. Number 5, Babylicious at 18 to 10. I'm So Pretty 5 to 2. Yo Lekker Ding at 4 to 1. French Masterpiece 5 to 1. 10 to 1 and better ball. Those number 3, Artiste, and number 6, Back to the Future are the 2 scratch-ins. So it's a field of 8 runners that remained for this race. I'm So Pretty. She was a facile winner of a maiden last time out, winning by 4 lengths, given a 2-point raise by the handicapper. And then you've got Babylicious, who ran 3rd to Festival Chic last time out, and she's holding her form quite nicely. Of the 2, who's the preference for you, Graham?
Yeah, I think Babalicious, obviously Artiste would have been my first choice, but now that she's out, it takes away a little of the gloss from this race because I thought it was a good race. Some nice fillies in the race, nice 3-year-old fillies. Yo Lekker Ding has shown promise, Babalicious and I'm So Pretty, and of course they come up against the 4-year-old First Masterpiece. So Babalicious would be my top choice ahead of number 9, I'm So Pretty, and then number 8, First Masterpiece, and number 1, Yo Lekker Ding. But I don't think it's clear cut. While they've all shown nice promise, I still think there's more to come from each of them, and just how quickly they all progress is going to be key to the outcome of this race. But I think Babalicious must be the one to beat in the absence of Artiste and Back to the Future.
And number 5, Babalicious for Candice Bass-Robinson. One-time winner from 6 out of 10s, but a filly that's certainly got solid form to a name. Race number 10, final race on the day, 5:15, the off-time, 1,250 meters, class 5 for fillies and mares. And number 7, All the Boys Are Loved, favourite here at 14-10, 4-1 Veronique, 6-1 Captain's Destiny, 6-1 Now the Boss, it's an 8-1 and Better Bar Those. All the Boys Are Loved, winner on debut, and we touched on this filly's form in race number 1. The one to beat you?
Well, we'll know early in the race meeting as to whether that form has been fracked. Obviously, if Catch a Penny wins the first, as she has every chance of doing, then the form obviously has been franked, and the chances for All the Boys I've Loved here get enhanced. She's entitled to be favourite because it's a typical Class 5. It's not often that a winning 3-year-old actually gets into a Class 5. They normally make their handicap debuts in Class 4 or above. So she sneaked into this Class 5, albeit under 61 kilograms. So she's coming up against very limited opposition. Last week we were on Captain's Destiny at 20-1, and I'm going to venture to say she was very unlucky not to reward us at huge odds. On the show, we went for number 3, Captain's Destiny, last week. She was hampered at a crucial stage of the race on the outside, flew up late to get within a narrow margin of Prince of Tibet, who was Pete Staines' winner last week. But clearly that form line is quite limited. That's why we went for her. She backs up a week later. She's definitely improved in the blinkers, Rahil. There's no doubt that she's sported the blinkers the last 3 starts, and all 3 have been better. So she might be worth another chance, but we're not going to get 20-1. Then you've got the obvious usual suspects like Veronique, Why Not Jackie, Nile the Boss, and On Board. So these Class 5 fillies and mares races are never easy. Clearly, debut winner number 7, All the Boys Have Loved, is the key horse in the race. We'll know by now whether that form has been franked, but I'm not going to let number 3, Captain's Destiny, run loose.
Yeah, I agree. 6-1. Nice price about this 4-year-old filly. I was with you last time out on this horse. I thought she'd go close to winning, and yeah, unlucky that day, 3rd to Prince of Tibet, and let's hope that she can go a couple placings better on Saturday. We're going to move on to the suggested bet now, and Graham will take us through his thoughts and his suggested bet, which is a buy pot. And Graham, take it away.
Bipod starts race 2, 12:35. Plenty of cover here. Numbers 1, Rafa Bay, 2, Diablo, 8, Grand Allegro, and 11, Master Bomber. So 1, 2, 8, and 11 in the first leg. Going with numbers 2, What a Fortune, and number 3, Palace Gift in the second leg. Palace Gift is my clear first choice. Then the third leg, numbers 1, Night Bomber, 3, War Chariot, 4, Black Egret, and 6, Bjorn Ironside. Maybe I've gone too wide there, but I'm not quite sure, as we discussed earlier, what to expect from number 6, Bjorn Ironside, on his debut at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. So plenty of cover there. Then the obvious banker of the day. The whole day is sort of worked around number 9, Sights. We're expecting him to get the job done in race 5. Then 3, 7, 9, and 10, Fire Flare, Golden Grey, Groove Jet, and Join the Dots. And the final leg, numbers 2 and 4, Augusta Blue, and Spirits Unite. Spirits Unite, the top choice there.
That is the bar pot, and it all begins in race number 2, as it is a 10-race program, so the exotics will begin a race later. Race 2, bar pot. Race 3, PA. Race number 4, the pick 6. Graham, thanks very much. Looking forward to the meeting on Saturday, and hopefully all goes according to plan.
Thank you, Rahil. Yes, we've got a good weekend's racing ahead of us, and as always, we hope that the horses that we've picked out do the job for us.
That's racing out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Saturday.